Stephen Blake delivers the sentence in a team meeting. His voice calm and final. "You're not aligning with the culture." 30 pairs of eyes turn toward me. I feel their weight, the collective judgment, the shift in air pressure. I don't argue. I don't defend myself. I swallow hard, tasting something bitter. My hands sit motionless on the table. No one says anything. The silence stretches like taffy, uncomfortable and suffocating. I've been here for 30 days. 1 month. Victor leans back in his chair, fingers steepled, waiting for my response. His expression is patient, almost kind. That's what makes it worse. He looks like he's disappointed in me, like he wanted this to work out. "I understand," I say quietly. The words feel hollow. The meeting continues. Someone mentions Q3 projections. Someone else laughs at a joke I don't hear. Life moves on, but I'm still frozen in that moment. The moment he decided I didn't belong. I glance around the table one more time, searching for a single face that might push back. A single wait, or "that's not fair." Nothing comes. Not one person defends me. That silence becomes the loudest sound I'll ever hear. I replay that first morning now, searching for the moment everything changed. But the truth is, maybe it never changed. Maybe it was always going to end this way. Stephen had greeted me personally that morning, walking me past the cubicles himself. His hand had rested briefly on my shoulder, a gesture that felt paternal, protective. "Your presence brings balance to this team," he'd said. His words felt safe. Intentional. True. I'd believed him. Now 30 days later I replayed that moment differently. Had there been something performative about it? Had the other employees been watching, already knowing what was coming? I began noticing things I'd missed before. Stephen never put anything in writing about me. No email feedback, no documented observations, no record of our conversations. Every critique, every concern was delivered verbally, privately, with no witnesses and no paper trail. He was careful, strategic. I realized none of it was verifiable. If I complained, if I tried to fight back, there would be no evidence of what he'd said. It would be my word against his. And he was the director. I notice how carefully he avoids creating records. That's when I understand. He's done this before. On day 31 my desk gets moved. "It's temporary," Stephen explains during our one-on-one. He needs someone closer to the file room. Makes sense logistically. Nothing about it seems personal. My new desk sits in a corner, separated from the main team by a partition. It's quieter here. Colder. The informal check-ins disappear next. The casual conversations by the coffee machine, the lunch invitations. All of it stops. I'd never realized how much of work happens in those small moments until they vanished. A coworker named Alex had started sitting next to me in the cafeteria during week 2. We talk about our weekends, swap snack recommendations. On day 31, he apologizes for forgetting about lunch. He's so sorry. It won't happen again. Doesn't. I eat alone after that, scrolling through my phone like I'm busy, like I don't notice the absence. Then, on a Tuesday afternoon, a calendar invite appears on my screen. No subject line. No sender information I recognize. Just a meeting room number and a time. 3 p.m. tomorrow. My stomach drops. I sit there staring at it, heart pounding, trying to figure out what I've done wrong. What comes next? An anonymous calendar invite appears on my screen. I find out what the meeting is about from Zara, another analyst, who whispers to me by the printer. "Careful," she says, glancing over her shoulder. "Stephen watches every word you say. To everyone." I nod silently, but inside my mind is racing. I catalogue every glance, every tone of voice from previous conversations. I replay meetings, looking for the moment I'd stepped out of line. Zara squeezes my arm briefly and walks away before anyone notices us talking. That night I can't sleep. I lie in bed, thinking about Stephen's face when he'd said I wasn't aligning. Was he watching then too? Is he always watching? The next morning I arrive early. I sit at my corner desk and observe. Stephen comes in around 8:45. He walks through the office, stopping at each cubicle. He doesn't come to mine. He stops at Alex's desk, leans in, says something quietly. Alex glances toward me, then looks away quickly. Later Zara passes by my desk. She doesn't speak, but her eyes tell me everything. Steven noticed. He's monitoring who talks to me. I see the way Steven watches my conversations. From that moment on, I stop trying. I don't initiate conversations. I don't seek out lunch buddies. I become smaller, quieter, less visible. Feels like survival. Steven schedules a one-on-one feedback session. I arrive at his office with my heart in my throat, unsure what to expect. He sits behind his desk, gesturing for me to close the door. I want to help you succeed here, he begins. His voice is gentle, almost concerned. Thank you, I say. But I'm noticing some inconsistencies in your output. Are you sure this aligns with our standards? He slides a document across the desk. It's one of my reports from week 2. He points to a formatting choice I'd made. I can fix that, I say. It's not just the formatting. He leans back, studying me. It's the approach. I'm wondering if this role is the right fit for you. The words hit harder than they should. A week ago I would have questioned him, asked for clarification. But now, after the isolation, after the whispers, I doubt myself. Maybe I'm not good at this job. Maybe I never was. I'll do better, I say. He nods, satisfied. I hope so. Walking back to my desk, I feel untethered. My own work starts feeling foreign to me. When did I become incompetent? Was I always? I send Steven an email asking for clarification on a project deadline. 3 days pass. No response. I send a follow-up. 4 more days. Finally, on day 7, a single line. Check the shared drive. The response is cold. Clip. Dismissive. I start saving everything. Every email, every chat message, every document I create. I archive conversations, documenting the pattern of exclusion. If I'm going to survive this, I need proof that I'm doing my job, even if Steven doesn't acknowledge it. The delays pile up. My questions go unanswered. My contributions get overlooked in team meetings. But I keep working, keep documenting, keep my head down. Then, one morning, I open my email to find that a key email thread, one where I'd outlined a solution to a recurring problem, has disappeared. It's not in my sent folder, not in my archive, not anywhere. I search for it 3 times, growing colder each time. Key email thread disappears mysteriously. I copy every remaining email to a personal folder. If he can delete evidence, I need to protect myself. In a team meeting on Friday, something shifts in the room's energy. Steven sits at the head of the table, and around him, faces are carefully neutral. I watch as people speak. They avoid my eyes. One colleague, Liam, shifts in his chair as I begin to sit next to him. He stands up and moves to a seat on the opposite side of the table. My pulse spikes. Throughout the meeting, eyes slide past me. When I try to contribute an idea, someone talks over me. When I try again, Steven changes the subject smoothly, as if I hadn't spoken at all. I feel myself shrinking in real time, becoming invisible. Then, as the meeting ends, I glance across the room. Steven is watching me with the faintest smile on his face. Not a kind smile. Satisfied one. He knows exactly what's happening. He's orchestrating it. Steven smirks subtly from across the room. I gather my notebook and leave without making eye contact with anyone. I find it on my keyboard when I return from lunch. A post-it, bright yellow, with a message in generic handwriting. Stop trying. It's better for everyone. My hands shake as I read it. I look around the office. People are at their desks, working normally, as if the world hasn't just tilted sideways. Who wrote this? How long has it been there? Did anyone see me find it? The handwriting is deliberately generic. Block letters that could belong to anyone. The message is a threat, but a subtle one. Not violent. Just a suggestion that I should give up. I photograph it immediately, hands trembling. I need evidence. I need to prove that this is real, that I'm not imagining this. Then I carefully place the note back where I found it, acting casual, in case anyone's watching. I photograph it before anyone else sees. Later in the bathroom I text the photo to myself. I create a folder on my personal laptop and begin organizing everything. Dates, times, screenshots, photographs. I'm building a case without even knowing yet what the verdict will be. I've always had a mentor at this company. Someone I met during onboarding. A senior manager named Elena who seemed genuinely interested in my growth. She'd grabbed coffee with me in week 1 and said, "Let me know if you ever need anything. Reach out." No response. I try again a week later. Still nothing. I see her in the hallway one morning and attempt to catch her eye. She looks at her phone suddenly, as if she's just received an urgent message, and hurries past me. The message is clear. Even she has abandoned me. Isolation tightens its grip. That evening I'm working late at my desk. The office is nearly empty. I'm printing out documents when I hear Stephen on a phone call in his office, the door mostly closed. His voice is low, and he's laughing softly. "She's already questioning herself," he says to whoever is on the other end. "It's beautiful, really. No one needs to do anything. She's doing the work for us." I freeze, the papers hanging from the printer. He hangs up and I quickly grab my documents, my heart hammering in my chest. I overhear Stephen laughing softly on a call. She's already questioning herself. During a team presentation, I'm halfway through explaining my quarterly analysis when Stephen interrupts. "Actually, I think we should clarify something," he says, standing up slightly from his chair. "The methodology here isn't quite up to our standards." The room shifts. A few people smile politely, as if this is normal, as if directors always critique presentations mid-sentence. I start. "Let me," he continues, and he walks to the screen, takes over the presentation, and redoes my entire explanation in a way that sounds almost identical to what I'd been saying, but with his name attached to the logic. The room applauds lightly when he finishes. I swallow the embarrassment and sit down. No one looks at me. The message is clear. My ideas aren't good enough, but they're good enough for him. Later, when I return to my desk to save my presentation files, I notice the projector has auto-saved my slides, but without my speaker notes. The digital record will show only the final version, with Stephen's edits. The projector auto-saves my slides without my notes. I realize nothing I create is safe. Everything can be reframed, reinterpreted, stolen. Stephen calls a team alignment meeting on a Thursday. 30 minutes before it starts, I notice the agenda on the shared drive. My name isn't on it. I sit in the meeting room as people file in, all eyes looking through me. I open a spreadsheet on my laptop, pretending to review data, as if I belong in this room even though I've been erased from the agenda. The meeting lasts 90 minutes. No one acknowledges me. No one asks for my input. I'm a ghost. Then, just as people are leaving, I notice something. A folder has been left on the table. Someone's notebook, slightly open. I glance around to make sure no one's watching, and I peek inside. It's filled with notes. Pages and pages of notes documenting every contribution I've made to our team projects. Someone has been tracking my work. Someone has been keeping score of what I've accomplished, even as Stephen erased it. A colleague accidentally leaves a folder on the table. All my contributions logged. I photograph the pages quickly, carefully, and leave the folder where I found it. That night I study the photos. The handwriting is neat, methodical. Whoever wrote this has been paying attention. Whoever wrote this cares. I spend the weekend creating a spreadsheet of my own. I map every exclusion, every slight, every delayed response from Stephen. I note the dates, the times, the witnesses. Week 1, positive feedback, personal welcome. Week 2, desk moved. Informal check-ins stop. Coffee machine conversations dry up. Week 3, anonymous note appears. Colleagues avoid me. Zara's warning. Week 4, public humiliation. Presentation interrupted and redone. Week 5, meeting exclusion. It's not random. It's systematic. Each step is designed to isolate me further, to make me question myself deeper. And then I see it. The pattern isn't just about humiliating me. It's about control. Stephen is monitoring who reports what and when. He's managing the narrative before it even exists. He's making sure that everyone sees me as incompetent before I have a chance to prove otherwise. I spot Stephen manipulating who reports what and when. I add this discovery to my file. I'm not just collecting evidence. I'm understanding the game. And if I understand the game, maybe I can change how it's played. In a one-on-one meeting, I bring up something that happened in a team meeting 2 weeks ago. Stephen had made a comment about my report that seemed dismissive, and I want to understand what he meant. "That never happened," he says, his voice patient and confused. "I would never say something like that." I feel myself faltering. Did I imagine it? My memory suddenly feels fragile. "I'm sure," I start. "Are you okay?" he interrupts, genuine concern crossing his face. "You seem stressed. Maybe this job is too much for you." The gaslighting is subtle but devastating. He's not calling me a liar. He's suggesting I'm unstable, unwell, unreliable. The room hesitates to disagree. But that night I do something I've never done before. I quietly check my email. I find the thread from that day. I read my own words, confirming that I'm not crazy. "Happened." He said it. I start recording my one-on-ones. My phone sits in my pocket, capturing every word he says, every contradiction he creates. I quietly label each video recording for reference. I'm not breaking any laws. In a one-party consent state, I have the right to record. And if he's going to gaslight me, I'm going to have proof. I eat alone every day now. It's become routine. I bring my lunch, sit at my desk, scroll through my phone like I'm occupied with important matters. But I'm watching. I'm documenting. Create a seating chart. Who sits where during lunch? Who talks to whom? How quickly does the table empty when I approach? Someone forgets to invite me every single time. Not once, but every single day. The consistency is almost impressive in its cruelty. Stephen has personally overseen each exclusion. Can see it now. He never invites me, but he makes sure others know not to either. A glance, a word, a subtle shift in the conversation when I approach. I document seating charts and conversations. It's methodical. It's premeditated. It's the work of someone who knows exactly what he's doing and has done it before. Add this to my files. Psychological manipulation. Workplace isolation. Deliberate exclusion. A new policy is announced. Every analyst must present their quarterly analysis to a broader leadership team. Seems like a great opportunity. It's a chance to prove myself. Except Stephen designs my presentation slot perfectly. He schedules me right after lunch when people are tired and distracted. He gives me the hardest data set in the quarter. He makes sure I have the least preparation time of anyone on the team. It's designed to make me fail in front of an audience. I realize this as I'm preparing. This isn't an opportunity. It's a trap. But I don't panic. I prepare anyway. I work evenings. I strengthen my analysis. I practice my delivery. Stephen notices my effort. He approaches my desk one afternoon with a concerned expression. "I just want to help you align," he says. "Maybe you're taking on too much." The fake concern is almost worse than the cruelty. Stephen approaches with fake concern. "I just want to help you align." I smile and nod. "I've got this," I say. Inside I'm thinking, I've got you. The morning of my presentation I'm terrified. But as I'm setting up the projector, someone slips a note onto my podium. I see what he's doing. "You're not alone." I look around quickly. The note is handwritten, the same neat handwriting from the folder in Chapter 11. Someone is tracking this. Someone is building a case too. I memorize the message and destroy the note. That afternoon, after my presentation, which goes well despite Stephen's setup, the same person finds me by the water cooler. Selena, my mentor. "I'm sorry I disappeared," she says quietly. "Stephen threatened my position if I talk to you. But I've been keeping records. internal emails that show his pattern. He's done this before. To other people. You're not the first. Evidence surfaces from internal emails. My hands shake as she speaks. He's arrogant, she adds. He thinks you won't fight back. Most people don't. She hands me a folder, actual files, not digital ones. Inside are emails from other employees, documentation of similar behavior, patterns of Stephen isolating employees and forcing them out. I'm not alone. And more importantly, I'm not the first. That night, I read through Elena's folder. I see the names of others. I see the dates. I see Stephen's strategy repeated over and over. Welcome someone, isolate them, gaslight them, force them out. But here's what I realize. His strategy only works if people are too broken to fight back. He relies on shame, on self-doubt, on isolation. I analyze Stephen's patterns. Every email, every interaction, every subtle manipulation. And I realize something. He underestimates my patience. He thinks patience is weakness. He's wrong. Each interaction becomes a strategic move for me now. When he criticizes me, I don't react. I record it. When he excludes me, I document it. When he lies, I find the evidence. I am no longer playing defense. I'm collecting. Discrepancies appear between HR records and Stephen's story. I find emails where he's told HR one thing but told colleagues another. I find records of employees he's voluntarily transitioned out, who say they were forced. I find a pattern so clear that any reasonable person would see it. I'm building a case that can't be argued away. One day, Stephen calls me into his office. He closes the door and sits down with a smile. I think I've been too hard on you, he says. I want to apologize. You're actually doing great work. The tone shift is jarring, confusing. For a moment, I wonder if I've misunderstood everything. But I haven't. This is manipulation too. This is trying to make me doubt my own narrative, to make me think I was wrong about what happened. I nod and smile. Thank you. I'd like to start over, he continues. No more distance. You're part of the team. I smile and note every contradiction. Every moment where his kindness feels performed. I secretly record the conversation. When I play it back later, his words sound different. Desperate, almost. Like he senses something shifting but doesn't know what. That night, I add the recording to my file. This is a man trying to erase his own behavior, to rewrite history. A high-stakes project lands on my desk. Stephen calls it your chance to prove yourself to the executive team. It's a major project with visibility and impact. I work on it obsessively. 60-hour weeks. I pour everything into it because this is my opportunity. But as I'm completing it, I realize something is wrong. A critical file disappears from the shared drive. A file I need for the final analysis. I check the version history. Stephen deleted it. Then I find another discrepancy. The timeline he's given the executives doesn't match the timeline he's given me. He's set it up so that I'm either going to miss a deadline or deliver incomplete work. It's rigged. I document each manipulation meticulously. A critical file disappears from the shared drive. I recover the file from my backup. I complete the project. And I include a note with detailed timestamps of every change, every deletion, every version, showing exactly what happened and when. The project is ready. But so is my evidence. Elena meets me for lunch. A real lunch in public, no longer hiding. I've been talking to others, she says quietly. People Stephen forced out. They're willing to go on record. And I have more emails. Lots more. She slides a USB drive across the table. But here's what you need to know, she continues. He's going to fight this. He's going to deny everything. He's going to try to make you look unstable or unreliable. I have documentation, I say. I have recordings. I have emails. The colleague from Chapter 16 confirms Stephen manipulated deadlines and meeting notes. I now have corroboration from multiple sources. He's arrogant, Elena repeats. He thinks you won't fight back. But I'm already fighting. I've been fighting silently the whole time. What do I do now? Ask. You take this to HR, she says. You take it to his boss. You take it to whoever will listen. And you let the evidence speak. 2 days later, there's a team meeting. Stephen is presenting next quarter's plans, talking about the importance of aligned culture and team fit. It's clearly directed at me. When he finishes, I raise my hand. Actually, I say, my voice steady, I want to address something about culture and fit. The room goes silent. I have documentation of repeated patterns of exclusion and manipulation. I have timestamps of deleted files, recordings of contradictory statements, and emails that don't align with what I've been told verbally. I calmly present my evidence. The room notices. I'm not angry. I'm not crying. I'm not breaking. I'm cold, professional, factual. Stephen realizes control is slipping. His face drains of color. He opens his mouth, then closes it. He's looking for a way to spin this, but there is no spin. The evidence is clear. We should discuss this privately, he says finally, his voice tight. HR is welcome to join us, I respond. I present my full case to HR the next morning. Every document, every recording, every email, every corroborating statement from other employees. The HR director's expression changes as she reads through my files. This isn't a he said, she said situation. This is a pattern. This is systematic behavior. How long has this been happening, she asks. 5 months, I say. Since 2 weeks into my employment. She makes calls. Stephen is placed on immediate administrative leave pending investigation. Silence. Not fear but realization. The office erupts in whispers. People who'd avoided me are suddenly approaching, saying they notice things too. Colleagues I'd eaten lunch alone near are revealing that they'd been warned away from me. The isolation that had felt total suddenly looks like it was orchestrated. Stephen smirks nervously, sensing his unraveling. Within 2 weeks, the investigation concludes. Stephen's pattern is undeniable. He's isolated at least 4 other employees over the past 5 years. He's manipulated documentation. He's violated company policy repeatedly. Every lie, every manipulation, every exclusion is exposed. Stephen cannot spin it. The office witnesses the unraveling. In a company-wide meeting, the CEO addresses the situation. Without naming Stephen specifically, she acknowledges that serious concerns have been raised about leadership behavior and that immediate steps are being taken to ensure this never happens again. She's protected the company from liability, but the message is clear. Stephen is gone. He tries one last intimidation, a text message suggesting we settle this quietly, and that I should reconsider going forward with the investigation. Fails. He's left no room for interpretation. He's left evidence. Stephen is reassigned to a non-management position at another office. The investigation report is sealed, but the whispers are not. People know what he did. His career in management is over. The office that once rejected me begins to shift. People treat me differently now. Some with guilt, apologizing for their silence. Some with a new kind of respect. Respect for the fact that I didn't break, that I gathered my evidence carefully, that I let the truth speak. I'm reassigned to a new team, new manager, new seat. The office turns from silence to cautious acknowledgement of my composure. Stephen's arrogance destroyed him completely. I never broke a law. I never exposed him publicly. I never lost my dignity. Poetic justice. 3 months later, I walk past the corner where my isolated desk used to sit. The partition is gone. Someone else works there now, surrounded by their team, included and welcomed. The office is alive, but I'm detached, emotionally healed, stronger, different. I don't hate Victor anymore. Hate requires energy, and I've stopped spending energy on him. I've learned something from all of this. Silence isn't weakness. Sometimes silence is strategy. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the strongest. A new colleague approaches my desk with a question about a project. I answer patiently, thoroughly. She thanks me and walks away, already turning to tell someone else how helpful I was. I smile faintly. No words are needed. My story, my truth survived. 2 weeks after Victor's reassignment, an envelope arrives at my desk. No sender. Just my name handwritten. Inside is a letter. I recognize the neat handwriting immediately. It's Elena's. I wanted you to know something. When I first heard about what Victor was doing to you, I was terrified. He'd threatened my career, my reputation. I told myself it wasn't my place to interfere. But watching you sit alone, watching him destroy you, I couldn't stay silent anymore. What you did, the patience, the documentation, the refusal to break, that took more strength than any emotional outburst ever could. Most people would have quit. Most people would have fallen apart. You did neither. I've been offered a promotion to head of HR. I'm taking it on one condition: that we implement accountability measures that protect employees from what happened to you. It won't undo what you experienced, but it might prevent someone else from going through it. Thank you for reminding me what courage looks like. Thank you for fighting back. I read it twice, 3 times. The letter isn't about gratitude. It's about seeing. Someone saw me. Someone witnessed my silent struggle and decided to act. I placed the letter carefully in my drawer, next to all the evidence I'd collected. Proof that I'd survived. Proof that the truth mattered. That night, I sleep without checking my phone for work emails. For the first time in 5 months, I sleep peacefully. I smile faintly at the thought of what comes next. Not revenge. Not closure. Just forward. The girl who walked into this office 30 days ago wouldn't recognize the woman I've become. She was looking for acceptance, for belonging, for someone to tell her she mattered. I don't need that anymore. I matter because I decided I do. I survived because I chose patience over panic. I won because I understood that the loudest voice in the room isn't always the strongest voice. Sometimes it's the one that says nothing and lets the evidence speak. Victor taught me that. Unintentionally, he taught me exactly who I am. And for that, I'm almost grateful.